The process is a rectangle shape. Input and output are parallelograms. Any pseudocode statement is written as it is inside that box. You have to first of all see that what kind of the statement is. It is an input or an output or a process. Decision hoga, that is like if else. So it will have its own diamond shape representation. This is the selection. Selection is if or case. This is the select case. Now, although select case is also not in the syllabus, but it is mentioned in the Hodder book. I have not seen the questions, but I haven't, of course, gone through all the past papers. But till now, I haven't seen the question about the select case. So, and also Python does not support that. So if we even have to do so, we will do only the pseudocode for it. This is same as like the if. Think of it like you just provide all the possibilities of the variable and then say that if it is, for example, case A means grade A. Okay? If grade is equal to A, then marks can be from, or it marks can be 90 plus. So this is case A. If it is case B, then it has a proper thing. It's same logic is same as the if else, but it just lists down all the cases possible. Okay. Just giving you an example that these two are the selection modules available in all the programming languages: selection if and select case. If A is greater than B, then else. And this is just a structured English. You just describe or write the pseudocode statements in English format. Just like as we say it. Agar hum ye padhe, we if A is greater than B. So same as it is, you write in the structured English. And this is in the pseudocode, then, else, and if. If you have to represent in flowchart, whatever is coming from the top, right now we are not looking at that. The decision statement will contain the condition or criteria mentioned in the if statement. Okay? And then always it has two outputs, no and yes. You can, of course, write yes over here. You can write no over here, but the program flow is going to change accordingly. Whatever is happening in the yes statements, which is the then, and no is else. So whatever statements are coming in else, you will write in the no part. Whatever statements are coming in then, you will write in the yes part. Okay. So this is the representation of selection. Repetition. Repetition is repeat until, or is actually called while do, and then one is do while. And for. So these four types of repetition or loops. Okay. You also call them loops. Repeat until A is equal to B. So again, this is simple English. Repeat until A equal to B. Now, whatever lines you have to repeat, and then at the after the last line, after the last instruction, you are going to write until A equal B. So A equal B is the condition. The condition when the loop has to stop. How do you represent that in the flow chart? Although this thing is, you will not see it anywhere, but this can be, it's also the same thing. Like you just make a circle or an oval over here, use it as a loop. Whatever instructions are coming from the top, for example, input area, maybe we have an input over here. Okay, Then the program flow comes over here. These are all the lines, not in a single square. ये तो एक simple एक block उन्होंने mention किया है. These lines are going to have, or this block is going to have its own multiple shapes. It can be input, it can be output, it can be whatever process is inside this, inside the repeat. ठीक है, ये जो यहाँ पे lines हैं, instructions, they are going to come inside or between these arrows. Now, how do you represent whenever the loop has to stop, or how do you represent a loop? Simple as it is, also kind of a decision, because this is what we are doing over here. A equal to B equal is a condition, or in the language of flowchart, we call it selection or decision. More technically, let's call it decision as well. A equal B question mark. What does it say? Is A equal to B? So if A is equal to B, then if the answer is yes, then go out of the loop. If the answer is no, go back. Now look at the arrow where it stops over here. So this is like even before the first statement of the loop. Okay? This whole thing, this is the whatever is happening inside the loop, and the arrow has to go above that. Easier way, you can make the circle over here. And then this arrow will go back into this loop. Okay, now let's see one example. It was here in this. Now I'm just going to convert these pseudocode statements into the flowchart. हाँ algorithms की वो नहीं मैंने return किया ना, ठीक है वो मिलाती हूँ. Okay, total. What kind of a statement is this? Assignment. ठीक है. No, it's an input, process or output. Process है ना. Assignment is actually a process. Something is happening, an action is being done. The statements can be either input. Input means that you are getting the input from the user. In other words, ये input लिखा होगा. Output is going to be print in pseudocode. ठीक है. अच्छा इसमें मैंने print use किया. Yes. हाँ output होता है. यहाँ पे output. This example is. They're always using output. See, everywhere it is output. That specific example. कहीं से copy paste किया होगा. Anyways, this is not wrong actually. The thing is we have to use the convention that is specified by the Cambridge. So we will use output over here. Okay? So input and output are of course input and output statements. We'll use parallelogram in that case. Now this is a process. How many of you are here? That are not talking at all. Sit separately. Okay, so process is represented by a rectangle. You will write the statement inside it. Total 0. Then we have print. Always use an arrow. Just think of it like in one statement goes to the next statement, the next instruction, but you will have to use the arrow for that. All the boxes should be connected. कोई freestanding नहीं होना चाहिए, otherwise it's not a part of the flowchart. Now the next one is print, which is output. ठीक है? And again, exactly the same output. enter the number of values to average. Then number 3, input. Number. And then we have what kind of process? It's a loop. Simple process में assignment या फिर जिस तरह ये है any calculation, these are kind of the, you can write the process. जो loop है और the decision, they will have the diamond or the, अब loop के लिए let's use the circle. ठीक है. Counter 1 to number. ठीक है. अभी हम पहले हम लिख देते हैं the statements inside the loop. We have output, input and then total. Output, that is enter value, input value, and then we have a process total equal to average निकाल रहे हैं तो क्या होगा total plus value. So basically what is happening in this, what is happening here, the first statement was like you take the input, like how many numbers do you want to average, 5 numbers for example, there you will input 5 numbers. So the loop is going to run how many times, 1 to number is, in our example it's 5, so 5 times the loop will run. And what will happen each time, it will first output the value, input the value, then input of the value will be taken, total equal to total plus value. Now total is a variable, maybe it's 0 at the start, 0 hai na, we assigned 0 to the total variable. Now 0 plus value, that means it keeps adding the value that has been input in every cycle, you can say. Now the वो भी करते हैं ना अभी. Now this is actually inside this loop, and then we have next counter. Now the thing is you cannot write this next counter or फिर वो you have to mention the condition. The condition in this case is what? Yes, counter पे हम depend कर रहे हैं. The loop is running on all the time. The loop will run on a condition, and if it is a count control condition, count control loop, that means it is running on a counter. So you have to write the decision at the end. ठीक है, although it's not mentioned over here, यहाँ पे if else नहीं लिखा हुआ, but it is still a condition, and the condition is what? हाँ, is, or you can write just simply counter equal to number. लेकिन बहुत बुरा लिखा जा रहा है ऐसे. Let's write it again. Counter equal to number question mark. So this question mark will show that like what is the condition, what is it asking. Now either it can be, हाँ अच्छा यहाँ पे जो है mostly we write because it's coming on this side, so we write the condition which will go to the top. When will it go back to the loop? When it is no. Then we're here, then ठीक है, and if it is yes, then what? average. This is a process. Average is total divided by number. Always mention the arrows. If you don't mention that, this is just a connection. This is not showing the flow. Okay. So average equal to total divided by number. Then ये last ही हमने output कर दिया, output average, and then we end. ठीक है. और top पे you can see the flow chart. There is a start. Although in the pseudocode there is, you don't need to write a start or end. ठीक है. But because we know first statement is always the start. But with the flow chart, do have start. अच्छा, one more thing. In the loop, हमने ये जो काउंटर की 1 वैल्यू थी, ये हमने कहीं पे मेंशन नहीं की. ठीक है. In the pseudocode, we can leave it like this because we are telling the first value 1, 2 number. But over here in the flowchart, we are not telling it what is the first value. So where should you can add it with the total. You can make another process, or you can add it over here. Counter assignment 1. Whenever you have a loop, always mention this. The starting value and the ending value will come in the decision. Okay, but the starting value has to come not in the loop. Loop के बाहर होगा वो. Because otherwise, whenever it comes inside the loop, if you reset the value, so it will never going to get out of the loop. Okay, so ये हमारा पूरा flow chart बन गया. You can see over. If it is inside, then what will happen? Every time the cycle runs, the counter will reset to 1. And it will never get out of the loop because it will never be more than the number. Okay, so we have start, the two assignments. Now they are using equal to over here. That is also okay, but it's better that you use the same statements as the, even यहाँ पे equal कर दिया, arrow statement कर लें. Output, input number, output enter value, input value, total equal. अच्छा ये total. Yes, one more thing we left. What is this? Increment. This is called increment. Remember, the loop has all kinds of the loop. They have a starting value, loop counter. Start value, it's increment or decrement. Decrement means when you reduce the value, and end value. So these 3 things have to be defined. These loops are called count controlled. The other one are condition controlled. Condition control are something like, think of it like it can have different types of different number of loops every time depending on a condition. Maybe the user is pressing OK, 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 OK every time, so it's going to run again and again. ठीक है, वो भी हमारे example आएंगे, then you will understand. So account control loop, you have to write the start value, which was over here, the start value, then the increment, counter equal counter plus 1. We have to increase the counter also. ठीक है, इस otherwise ये क्या होगा, जब ये 1 पे रहेगा तो 2 पे तो जाएगा नहीं, and again the loop is going to be infinite loop. It's never going to come out of the loop. ठीक है, अगर हम 1 करते जाएंगे तो then it will become 2, in the next cycle it will become 3, then 4, and then 5, and then 6. It will become 6 over here. ठीक है, ये ज्यादा नहीं चल जाएगा. Anyway, so decision is counter greater than number, no, then go back to the loop. Otherwise, come out of the loop, do the average, output the average, and then end. then the condition is going to change. हाँ ये मैं कह रही हूँ ना, our initial value, let's see if we have, did we do the truth table for the programs? Variable वो किया था एक, I think. ठीक है, you make a table of the variables. ठीक है, especially if there are loops. ठीक है, for every loop you just write the number that would happen. For example, when it first starts, so this is the first cycle, the counter is, let's take our example, the counter is 1 and अच्छा number हमने for example हमने insert किया 5, so 5 times we need 5 numbers and total is 0. ठीक है, it comes inside, input हुई value, the value was maybe 2, total equal to टोटल को यहाँ पे ही, सॉरी बाहर होगा इसको 2 और यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा टोटल, 0 + 2 कितना हुआ 2. देन यहाँ पे अगर हम काउंटर इक्वल टू काउंटर +1, ठीक है, इन द सेम साइकिल वी हैव द काउंटर चेंजेस टू 2 when it comes to the decision 2 is equal to 5, no, it comes out, it goes back. Then that is our second cycle. In the second cycle the counter is 2 है, पहले तो 2 ही है ना, ठीक है, output value, input the value, maybe we have 3 करते हैं, ठीक है, total becomes 2 + 3 and counter becomes 3. 3 is equal to 5, no, so that is cycle number 3. Again we get the input value, let's make it 4, so 5 + 4 equal to 9 and the counter becomes 4. Then cycle number 4, counter is 4. Let's input the value 5. 9 + 5 equal to 14. And the counter becomes 5. Counter equal to number? Yes, so it comes out of the loop. So is our counter wrong? Why? It ran only 4 times. समझ आई? ठीक है? So either you change the counter to 0 so that it runs one more time, or you change the condition to greater than. ठीक है, now when we change the condition to greater than, counter equal to counter greater than number, no, it is 5, they are equal, so it will still run one more time. So in the 5th run what will happen, we'll input the value 6. 14 + 6 equal to 20, the counter will become 6. Counter is greater than number, yes, it will come out. Now how many values we have input? 5 values. ठीक है, so yes, you have to be very careful, especially in all the loops. If you are starting from 0, then you can use the equal condition to stop the loop. If you are starting from 1, then you will use the greater than condition. Let's see what other. ठीक है, this one is a simple one, 3 lines, input, process, output, and you have to put a start and the end. They usually use a oval. Okay, let's make a flow chart for this one. This is a decision based. Tomorrow, कल से स्टार्ट हो रहा है. अच्छा, मैंने देखा है लेकिन आई डोंट थिंक द फर्स्ट वन इज नहीं है, संडे को है. Okay, so we have over here start, okay, set the value, it's a process. You remember this program, we made it. Yeah. Set the value for the secret number, then input the guess if this is a decision, and how do you लूप का जो डिसीजन होगा दैट इज द डायमंड. ठीक है, लूप इटसेल्फ जो है यू कैन ये जो हमने अभी किया ना, यू कैन स्किप दिस सर्कल एंड डू द डायरेक्ट एरो ओवर हियर. ठीक है, but I feel that this much this will is this way is easier if you put a circle for the loop, because then you have nowhere to take the arrow back. If guess equal to secret number, so it either goes down or goes to the right. Then कब आता है हमारा yes or no? अच्छा, now when you write the flow chart, especially you have to look at the space as well. Going to the right or the left side, it's better to use the one with the lesser number of lines. ये देखो then में ये है and then else is this much. So what we can do is we can use yes over here. ठीक है, we can have it like this. For example, this is an output and then end. इसको हम थोड़ा आगे लेके जाते हैं. Now, if it is no, then again we have another if guess is greater than secret number. Here we can do yes. Yes में क्या है? Output is what? Smaller. And no, again another output, greater. And उसके बाद what's happening after these? There is no loop. Loop तो कोई भी नहीं है. And both the outputs are going to go to end. So basically program ends in either 3 scenarios. ये वाला नहीं. I think let me check the notebook. We did that in notebook. But that loop will be what? Either you can have the loop can be condition control, like until you find the guess number. Or it can be count control, like you are given 3 tries. Okay, both programs can be done. Yeah. Okay, we had done this. Okay, let's do it again. Let's do first the count controlled because you have done this. उसके बाद हम करते हैं. I think you asked me for the notebook screenshot. तो मैंने देखे थे, it was like too much. मैं कि इसको क्या मैं स्क्रीनशॉट भेजूं, इतना गंदा काम हुआ है वो. Okay. So let's try to do it neatly this time. Let's first write the pseudocode or write the steps in simple English. ठीक है, pseudocode भी directly लिखना it's difficult. It's better to. So step 1, count control, maybe 3. 3 tries are given. Okay. Now the first thing, you set the value of secret numbers, not the guess. Secret number, then input value. Now in this case, if it is हाँ वो अच्छा करते हैं. नहीं, काउंटर like three tries, at least one time तो चलेगा ना. ठीक है, we can have counter equal to 1. So if it is equal, ठीक है, क्या करना है फिर, then output like you have 1 कुछ भी. ठीक है, और else so you can give the hints like this. Okay, like whatever number has been input, is it greater than or is it less than? Okay, and the else we have, this would be our next step. If it is greater then output greater, or else smaller. Now, because this is a loop, what do you need to do? Counter, I will write plus equal to 1. How do you check the counter? हाँ, लेकिन condition basically when we write the pseudocode, it won't be a condition. It's going to be in the loop. If counter, इसको भी सिर्फ हम इंग्लिश में लिख रहे हैं. It's nothing like if counter is हाँ more than 3, then you can use output you have lost, lose. Okay, now coming back to this, your color choose करते हैं, pseudocode. So we have secret equal to, let's use 11. नहीं, secret number हमने खुद सेट करना है इसमें, ठीक है. Counter equal to 1, more than 3 times चलना है लूप को, ठीक है. Input the value, input से पहले कुछ और आएगा. You need to identify the lines that come within the loop, which are अभी देखते हैं ये वाला जो है, ये this part is all inside the loop, ठीक है. Let's use the repeat. अच्छा, now this is the case when at least one time it will run the program will run, the loop will run. After the repeat, what's the first thing inside the loop? ये है ना input value. Repeat, whenever we are using repeat, we are writing all the lines and then after that we are checking the condition until. If we are using for, हमने भी कौन सा loop किया था, for, चलो for कर लेते हैं और उसमें हमें next use करना है. Repeat कर लेते हैं. For is easier in this way, like the increment is not, you don't have to write the increment. This is one thing. For while and the repeat, you have to write counter equal to counter plus 1. ठीक है, इसमें भी अच्छा, when you using for loop as well, उसमें फिर हम counter की value 1 अलग से set नहीं करनी पड़ती, because it happens within the loop. Remember हमने Python में किया था. How did you write for loop? I equal to 1. हाँ, I less than 4 कर लेते हैं इधर, या equal to 4 कर लो, less than equal to 3, and then I plus plus. So all the 3 things are within the loop, written within the loop. तो जब हम इसको pseudo code में भी लिखेंगे, we write it like this: counter assignment 1, 2, 3. Our program requirement is 3 times. Now inside the loop, what's happening? First we have if, input value. You can write an output statement as well, enter your guess number. Okay, it's better to write the output before the input so that the user knows. Output, enter your first, the first नहीं लिखेंगे क्योंकि वो फिर हर टाइम ये लिखेगा first number. Enter your guess number. Okay, then input value. ठीक है, value कर दो, guess कर दो, it's the name of the variable that matters. If equal to, हाँ, secret value, या वैसे guess ही कर देते हैं इसको, it's easier to remember like this. And here we have, okay, then अच्छा, इसमें एक और प्रॉब्लम आएगी. If it happens, if the player guesses the number in the first try, it should get out of the loop. ये फिर ना इसमें एक और हमें फ्लैग करना पड़ेगा. So let's not do this right now. अच्छा, इसमें हम ये कर सकते हैं. We can use the while loop or the repeat loop. So in that we can give two conditions at the same time. Or using or, remember the logical operator? किया हमने? नहीं, अभी नहीं किया. Like in the if, we can use two conditions. Condition 1 or condition 2. So like any of these can be true. But in the for, वो हमें separate करना पड़ता. So let's not use the for loop for now. मैं बताती हूँ उसका. Okay, that is why repeat is a better solution over here, because the repeat will make sure it runs at least one time. So in that scenario, if the user guesses the number the first try, then it will go out of the loop. Okay. Okay. If guess equal to secret, then output you win. But we need to add something else over here. That is mainly it is called a flag. Okay, variable here, but we call it a flag. It's something like this. This is flagged. Have you ever used this? Like English में भी वैसे use होता है कि the item is flagged as like broken. ठीक है, item is flagged as broken. Flag का क्या होता है? You just like put a sticker for something like this. So in programming language, when you need to identify something or something has happened, you flag it. So you can use 0 or 1. तो हम उसमें हम ये कर लेते हैं. We can make a new flag equal to 0. If it's 0, then that means the player has lost. If it's 1, then that means the player has won the game. So no, it's just for us. क्योंकि हमने, as I said, if it's in the first try, we need to give 3 tries. But what if in the first or second try the player wins? Then we need to know, or we need to put that in the condition. That is why we need to flag when the player has won. Output you win and flag equal to 1. So if के अंदर 2 statements हैं. If guess equal to secret, then output you win, flag equal to 1. Now how will I use this flag? इसको हम use करें. पहले उसका else लिख लेते हैं. Else. Yes, you can write else if. Guess. You can write it else if, or you can write else and then वो उसका nested if हो जाएगा. Both ways are correct because both ways give the same logic. Guess is greater than secret. Then output. नहीं, guess is greater. ठीक है. Do we need to flag over here? ठीक है, flag in this case. अच्छा, अब ये case क्या है? For example, 11 है हमारा and the user has entered 15. So it will come over here. The flag at this time is already 0. ठीक है, that means it will only be 1 if the player wins. Otherwise, you don't need to set it 0 again and again. And जाएगा ही नहीं ना. It won't go in the other conditions. Yes. उसको हम लिखते ना कंडीशन में लिखेंगे बाद में. नाउ आई एम जस्ट सिंपली राइटिंग एल्स बिकॉज दैट इज अ थर्ड कंडीशन. इट्स गोइंग टू बी स्मॉलर. Guess is smaller. Now we need to repeat them. अभी तो हम इसको करें. And if repeat है, ठीक है. Until will come here. Until counter 1 से करें ना. 1 2 3. Either counter is 4 or greater than 3. You can write both ways. और काउंटर को अंदर हमने प्लस भी करना है. उसमें फॉर लूप में लिखा गया था ना काउंटर +1. ठीक है. रिमेंबर टू डू दिस अदरवाइज वो अगेन इट विल सेम. सो काउंटर ग्रेटर देन 3 और फ्लैग इक्वल टू 1. सिंपल एज दैट. नहीं चलता रहेगा ना. रिपीट अंटिल मींस कि डू दिस अंटिल समथिंग हैपेंस. अंटिल का यही मतलब है ना. जब काउंटर is greater than 3 that means 3 tries have been given and the fourth try it will come out of the loop. When this is true or this is true. और का मतलब क्या है इन इंग्लिश. एवन वन थिंग कैन बी. जिस तरह अभी हमने किए और गेट. ठीक है. तो व्हाट्स हैपनिंग ओवर हियर. दिस इज ट्रू और द फ्लैग इज ट्रू अंटिल. अगर ये फॉल्स है बोथ आर फॉल्स तो फिर ये हाँ 3 दफा ही कर. क्योंकि हमारा जो था प्रॉब्लम जो था 3 tries are given. That's it. If 5 tries are given then you will do greater than 5. ठीक है. Do we have nahi flowchart? Try the flowchart for this. I'll post this screenshot. Try the flowchart, and if you have time, try the Python as well. ये ना इसका कल हम फिर प्रोग्राम कर लेंगे. Let's continue with this. I think it's better थोड़ा सा ये flow में आ जाए ना. So okay. Yes. That is a file, I think. File or database. The two and 2 lines. Or storage is some way.